Morning, Coach.
How are you?
Good morning. So let me take you back. Yeah, I thought the offense played good. We missed some opportunities, but I think we're right on track
Coach
where we need to go. Looking forward to the joint practice today and good work with Seattle and everything's good. We got a couple of hamstrings and we're good. So what are you guys up to?
Man, this is what I tell folks. Like, you got to actually get coaches to unlock to get the truth. You just pretty much gave away every coach's secret right there. Yeah, where we had a good day. My God.
You could do it in your sleep.
I think that was the entire Brian Callahan press conference yesterday.
Yeah.
Pretty much
I think we're right on track. Yeah, we're good.
Do you ever go back and coach and ever see any of your old interviews and be like, oh, yeah, I definitely pulled out the coach speak on that?
No. I'm reminded of the fun stuff we did.
Yeah.
I don't know. What did we do? We traded, as April Fools before the draft, obviously. We traded Steve and Eddie to Cincinnati for Corey Dillon and a 1. And that thing lasted for hours.
Love that.
That is
awesome. Your predecessors, the Hope Hines and all those guys, had them hooked. It was really fun. So,
awesome.
You got to have fun with this.
That's awesome.
I love it.
You got a nice setup here?
We do.
Yeah.
Kirby's got us taken care of. We're shaded. It's
Did they
nice
tell you
day.
they're practicing way on the other end?
Did
so
they?
You don't get,
Good to know.
Of course, right?
Yeah.
Coach Fisher, so it's my first official introduction to you. My kid is going to school. I met a guy that does these hunting excursions, and he dropped your name. You happen to do these things in Montana, if I'm not mistaken?
Yep.
Do some outdoor stuff in Montana.
Fly
yes.
fishing over
Yeah,
in
of course.
Missoula?
Yes. Well, it's interesting you bring it up. I had however many falls where I never saw my place in Montana. And I went like, 30, 40 years where I didn't have a fall to do stuff. And so I've been doing some things in the past falls. The only thing I get is Coach Mack and Mike Keith on the road, maybe between rivers, on Sundays. So it's fun. So where's your son?
He's at Answorth.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's at Answorth. From one of the,
good for him.
Yeah, he's doing his thing, man. Not a football player.
That's okay.
Basketball. Yeah.
No, it's fun. I mean, just to watch the city grow.
Yeah.
It's
Isn't it amazing?
All the programs and, and the communities are behind them, the money's behind them, and now, people coming in from all over the country recruiting these kids. And, back when, we were lucky to have a high school game on Friday night.
Man,
No doubt.
it's crazy. Coach, I was Jeff Fisher here with us at the table. I remember going back to either Cross Corner or the Brentwood O'Charlie's for the Jeff Fisher show, too, and just how much, the footprint of Nashville and the footprint of the Titans organization, just this fan base, the way it's taken off with the city, it's got to be incredible for you to watch.
It was great memories. And, we literally, before we, officially or unofficially got in here in 97, there were a couple years where whenever we had a free weekend, we were here. We were on a caravan. We were all over the state. And it wasn't as easy, the moving process, to get the approval, the NFL, yes, and all that kind of stuff. So we got around, shook hands, and, it was really cool just to really it was an opportunity to become part of the state and part of, this area. It was really cool. Great experience.
Yo, I was a caravan kid. You guys, I got pulled from my 8th grade class.
Yeah.
This was 99, if I'm not mistaken, 98, 99. And you guys came to Ripley, Tennessee to Ace Hardware store, Coach. And that was by far one of the coolest moments. And they grabbed, of course, the football players and stuff like that.
I don't think I said much. I was probably in the middle of my scooter pie, my RC Cola.
RC, man, that's a throwback, Coach.
There you go.
I love that.
I remember that introduction of the Titans to Tennessee, though. It was really cool. Really cool.
So many people. I mean, you cross paths with, between now and then, just the pictures they show and the memories, and everything. It really was a great experience, and here we are.
Yeah. Coach, talk about this new staff, and you've put together staffs before. How do you feel like Callahan kind of picked and choose who he brought here in terms of development, too, and how they plan on doing that? And then, by the way, Colt Anderson ends up being here, a guy your son played with at Montana in the special teams role.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was fun to watch it come together. As you do it, you want a blend. You want a combination of experience and then energy and youth, and and so you've got that. Got the experience with Frank Bush on the defensive side. I've known forever. And then Denard was with us in St. Louis, and a quick stop we had in L.A. So, and so, yeah, it's a good group. I'm looking forward to seeing how things unfold. The one thing about it is there are always going to be people that say, well, so-and-so's not called play, and he's not called plays yet. He's not called.
Right.
Well, everybody gets their opportunity at some point. And, by the time you get to this level and you get to the however many training camps you've been in and systems you've been in, you could turn the plate calling duties over to anybody and someone's going to be okay with it. That's the easy part. The hard part is the game plan and things. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff to look forward to. Bill, the experience that he has up front, it made sense. You go out and get a right tackle, move him over to left, and, here we go. Let's go. Right. He knows what he's doing. So, yeah, I think, people will be patient and watch this thing unfold. The interesting thing, I'm jumping all over the place, but, the kickoff return dynamics.
I was going to ask you about that.
And just kind of curious, you're curious to see, okay, are they going to really tip their hat the preseason, and who's going to do what to what depths and extent are they going to take these rule changes, and so it'll be interesting to see the difference between what's going on in the preseason and who saved what for the regular season with respect to that stuff. So I think that's the one thing to kind of keep an eye on.
We had Kevin Dyson on the show talking about that earlier this week, and I mean, I could see you having some fun with some different schemes in the regular season on the ways to, whether it's home run throwback or not within this new kickoff, and the different intricacies on how guys are really going to totally change the game with this thing.
Well, you got two components. You got the coverage component and then you got the return component, and so it's how you're going to blend those, and people are just sitting there brainstorming, and the way things are at this level, you're not going to show a lot of stuff in the preseason. So last week they had a couple good returns.
Yes.
Then we had a punt and a kickoff return.
Yeah.
I know. I'd tap my hat if I was Colt and walk out. That's it.
I did a good job.
Only good thing, they don't always, on special teams, good things don't always happen.
You're right.
So it's such a challenge, but obviously they got off to a great start.
When you look at the challenges of starting the season from a coach's perspective, Coach Fisher, like, what do you give yourself as far as grace from the first 4 games or getting through training camp to say this is our team and we expect to be here? Do you go in with an expectation that past week 4 we should be complete?
Well, you always have to keep an eye on the bottom part of your roster. That would include, now I think it's 17 practice squad players. Oh my gosh, it's a whole nother team, and that managing that, you need a head coach for your practice squad. But you're always trying to upgrade the bottom part, so you're trying to do that. But the big thing, you break it down at components. Camp is, these kids, they come in the best shape in the calendar year the night they report to camp. That's the way it is. That's life. So you want to keep them there. And if you're not careful, you can bring down your overall conditioning level. You can fatigue. Now you got injuries. So you always want to get them back up there. So it's all about, in my mind, the last 10 years or so I was in, it was all about recovery and make sure they understand how to recover. And you have to go through everything prior to the regular season. And for some guys it may be one full speed rep. For other guys, for young guys, it might be, and they need to play 30 plays a game, and hope that, you get whatever they don't get simulated in practice. But, it's a progression. But the big thing is do whatever you possibly can to keep them upright and keep them healthy. I saw a couple things the other night. I saw Pollard in a game, and first of all, I'll go to the quarterback. You got first and goal inside 10, and now you got a third and goal from the 4 or 5, and he's running the ball and getting tackled on the 1 yard line. It's like, who's going to remember what happened at the end of this series in week 1? Right. Throw the ball away. What are you doing getting hit? But that's a competitiveness in what you're doing, and that's a learning process. I've had some quarterbacks, one in particular, that you call a quarterback draw, he turned into a fullback. And then it took him 3 or 4 years to realize he had to flatten out and get out of bounds and not take that hit on the boundary, because those are the ones that knock the quarterbacks out. But so, it's that whole process, getting to know your guy guys, but like, oh man, don't get the quarterback hit in preseason game 1, and then I saw Pollard come up, bounce up, a really nice gain, about 20 yards, his first quarter play, and I mean, I might have called horse collar on the tackle.
Oh my God!
But you saw it on. I don't know if you saw it or you saw the review, but to me, that's like, man, get out of bounds. Come on, but that's the energy and the enthusiasm and the innocence of a new team.
Sure.
And that's why they're playing so hard in the preseason games.
How do you think you would have managed the 3 games, Coach, going down to 4? I'm a guy that enjoyed the 4 games. The 3rd game, I knew the starters is going to play,
Preseason,
get in and get out. But that 4th game is also for those last-minute roster decision guys. How would you balance it? What's the mindset of coaches that got to balance the 3-game preseason?
Yeah, there's a lot more going on than just that. I mean, if you're gonna cut down and then you're gonna add 17 guys back to your practice squad, everybody's doing the same thing. But there's some guys that you really maybe don't want to show on film, the tape, whatever we call it now. I mean, it used to be film, and then it went to tape, and now it's video. So what are they calling it now? Well, I'm going to go in and watch streaming.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that it?
You're going to have to pay for it.
I call it film, Coach. I'm just like...
It's all there in front of you, though, regardless. But, no, I think, with the 3 preseason games, it's definitely different. I mean, we were always of that mindset of you want to build. So first preseason game 1, guys play a quarter, and then, maybe a quarter in a series and 2. And then by the time you get the preseason game 3, I always wanted them to go through the halftime experience. It's unique in that, okay, you're wound up, you're playing, you played a half, and then you go in and you throw your stuff in the locker room, you walk back out in a T-shirt and a ball cap. Mm-hmm. You need to go through the halftime experience, which is going inside, cooling down, warming back up, getting emotionally and mentally prepared to come back out for the 3rd quarter. I always thought that. So it was always a half in a series, and then in week 4 it was just play is and keep the ball, keep the clock running, hand the ball off. Hope you have 40 or 50 carries in there, and you don't end up in a tie. And because your final cuts are you already know where you are. At that point. But
do you like the joint practices and what you can get? Maybe if you're looking from a coach's perspective out of that. They're outstanding. You got to have good relationships. With
coaches have to have good relationships. Mm-hmm. The players need to understand that it's work, it's business, it's this, it's that, and this is how we conduct ourselves. I've been in some of those that ended early, practices that ended early, and
right.
I actually anticipated one where we went to the Thousand Oaks, worked against the Cowboys, and things weren't going right, and I knew that it was going to end early, and I put beer on the players' bus. I iced beers down and everything, and I'm sure we ended up in a big old brawl, and we called practice, and our guys were on the bus back to the hotel drinking beer. So you get a feel for your team.
You knew it, though.
Oh yeah,
that's great.
Can you say Des Bryant was the catalyst behind all that stuff?
Oh, surprising!
Shocking.
Huh?
Yeah,
no, I was thinking,
and he wasn't practicing.
Yeah,
it was a holdout, and so he's not in shape. Pulled a hamstring, and he was practicing with his mouth, and it just got out of control.
I love that, Coach.
But you gave your team beer, and that's all.
No, I anticipated it. I did. I had coolers full of beer on the bus, and they didn't even know it.
That sounds like a Mike Munchak type of move right there.
Coach Jeff Fisher here with us on the show. Coach, thank you so much for stopping by. Good to see you.
Thank you. Yeah, have a great day
Coach.
today. This will be a lot of fun for you guys. So thank you.
Yeah.
Love it. More RKW coming up.